This
as per our
conference will now be
configurations,
recorded.
Sorry.
when 70%, as per our configurations in auto scaling groups,
Ah,
if the CPU utilization was 70% above, 2 instances will be created. If in case, in creation of containers, it takes up to 5 minutes. In this
in case
meantime,
of in case of
if
in
in
case
case
of
creation of containers, it takes time 5 minutes, right?
creation of containers or creation of instances.
Sorry, creation of instances.
Hmm. Hmm.
It takes 5 minutes. Let's take
Hmm.
5 minutes.
Hmm.
In this
Hmm.
meantime, the 2 instances which are there, the concurrent hits are hitting to the instances. The CPU utilization was gone about to 85%. Now, as per our policy, it should create 4 containers. My doubt was, the scaling mechanism will create the 6 instances or only the 4 instances?
It depends upon the. That's why you have a second warm-up period. You have given the second warm-up period as 300 seconds.
Okay.
It should not create any of the instances before the second warm-up period.
Okay.
It will wait for at least 5 more minutes actually to create the second iteration. That's why you have given the second warm-up period, right?
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions there? So now we're entering into the database. So previously you have discussed about the right. Previously you have been discussing about the concept of RDS. So now you have been created with writer and with the help of reader, right? So sometimes you guys they will ask you to perform the failover actually to increase the writer instances, the instance of writer instances actually. So this is your writer instances. So now you need to add a reader instances as well. Let's consider you need to add a reader instances as well. Go for the actions, add a reader here. Right. And the DB identifier, you can name this one as an customer DB reader. So add this one, add the reader. Customer DB hyphen reader. Right, customer DB hyphen reader. So publicly readable access, no. And DB authentication should be password based as well as IAM based authentication. Right, DB authentication should be password based as well as IAM based here. And failover priority, no, here you can use the tier 4 or tier 3, whatever the priority wise you can use. And default retention period of 7 days for your insights and the KMS key for your encryption of the data. Right. So delete on termination protection. So to avoid the accidental termination of your database, this is must and should for your databases. So add the reader. So you are adding the reader for your respective right reader instances. You are adding the customer DB. You are been adding this one. So now you have two endpoints. One is with writer and second one is reader here. Right? One is with writer and second one is reader. So this is how they will ask you to add the reader. Can I add one more reader? So can I add one more reader here? Yes, I can able to add one more reader actually to the same database. So the number of readers will going to be increased actually. If you want to fetch the data, it will going to be increased actually. So in the few cases, right, they will ask you to increase the instance type of your respective writer. That means all the write operations have got to be increased actually. Right, all the write operations has been increased actually. They will ask you to increase the writer node. They will ask you to increase the writer node actually. They will ask you to increase the writer node here. So in that case, without getting any kind of downtime, without avoiding your respective production data, you guys should going to be increase your respective instances. Right? You guys going to be increase your respective instances here. So we'll see how that is going to be possible. So we'll need to wait for till the reader got increased now. As soon as the reader got increased, then you can able to switch to your respective writer to the next level instances. That is called failover action. So what you guys are doing here is, so you have an RDS instances. You have an RDS instances, and you have a writer. You have a writer, and you have a reader here, and you have a reader here. So this writer will going to be enabled for the write operations on your respective database here. It will provide the insert actually write operations, insert or update here, or create. So now here in the respective reader, here you have again only the fetch operations are going to be only the fetch operations here. Right, only the fetch operations here. Right, only the fetch operations here. This is how it's going to happen. Now in the RDS you have two endpoints here. In the RDS you have two endpoints. One is with the reader endpoint and second one is with the writer endpoint. Right, one is with the reader endpoint and second one is the writer endpoint here. So now here, if suppose the writer having the instance type here as R5 large, writer having the instances of the R5 large, and the reader having the instance of again R5 large, right? Again R5 large, right? So now, as a request, they have asked you to increase the They have asked you to increase the writer node actually, right? Writer node. Then what you guys need to do? Without any kind of downtime, what you guys need to do? Without any kind of downtime, what you guys need to do? You guys need to do, right? You guys need to do the failover. What do you mean by failover, guys? What is the meaning of failover actually? What is the meaning of failover here? The writer became as reader and the reader became as writer here, right? That is called failover mechanism. So to avoid any kind of downtime here, right? What does it do? The writer became as reader and the reader became as writer here. So firstly, what you guys need to do here, as soon as both writer as well as reader is going to be ready, right? Both writer as well as reader is going to be ready. Like once this is going to be ready, you need to firstly enable the failover policy here. Go for the, so it is not available here. Here you need to use the failover. Now the writer became as reader, right? This one is going to become as reader, right? And then you can upgrade your respective instance type. We'll wait till this is going to be created. Am I clear on this? What I'm trying to say? Am I clear? Every one of you. What about Mangesh? What about this? Nitin, Pawan Kumar. Right? Very important actually. So this is one of the main tasks that you guys are going to be doing in the production environment, right? They will ask you to upgrade the reader, right? So then what you guys need to do? Sorry guys. Then what you guys need to do? You need to enable the failover. Go for the actions, enable the failover. So once you have failover done, it's when the instancing type is going to be done. Now this customer DB is going to become a writer now because you enable the failover here. So now here the customer became a writer and the production DB became a reader here. You got the logic, right? Now this will going to be handle all your write and read operations now. Now again you can modify the respective instance type. Again you need to modify the instance type, upgrade it, R5X large, continue, apply immediately. Now here this one is going to be upgraded to R5 large to R5 extra large. This one going to be upgraded R5 large to R5 extra large. Once that is going to be done, again you need to perform the failover. Again you need to perform the failover here to bring back to original state. To bring back to original state. Here by mistake I have did that twice actually. That's why the prod backup customer is became as writer. By mistake actually I did that twice actually. Once you have upgraded successfully, again you need to perform the failover. Right? Am I clear on this? Any questions?
Oh, yeah. So are we like avoiding the interruption of the writer instance here? So
Yes.
we are doing
Yes. Yeah. Because my transactions, my new customer data will going to perform there, right? If suppose I'm going to be insert a new customer data, where is my write operations are going to be placed? In the writer only, right? So to avoid those kind of scenarios, what I am doing here is I am performing the failover mechanism. That means writer is became a reader, and then I'm upgrading the writer instances. Then after I have upgraded successfully, then I'm going to be again failovering back from the reader to writer and writer to reader. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. One more question here, like this instances, right, are the endpoints, writer endpoint and reader endpoint. So are these are like intermediate server between the DB and the end user, which you are
Yes,
upgrading?
yes, 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 yes. From the app server to your respective database. You are right. Or the endpoint from your respective end user to the database. Am I clear on this?
Yes.
Any questions? So this is what you guys need to do. This is an interview question. How you guys are going to upgrade your respective writer instances without having the downtime, right? Without having the downtime. So now here, once this is done, you can upgrade the n number of readers so that you will have the high read capacity units actually, right? You will have a high read capacity units here to ensure that to perform the high operations. So this is what you can do: failover as well as upgrading of instances without any downtime here, right? Upgrading of the instances without any downtime here. This is what you guys are going to be performing the day-to-day activities, right? In the RDS environment. Any questions on the RDS here? As soon as you have performed your respective practical, what you guys need to do? You guys need to delete the RDS instances. Otherwise, the bill is going to be very high. Coming to the billing perspective, as I said earlier, you don't need to think about for your free tier account billing actually at this moment, because you guys are into learning state. All the time they will not going to waive off the 30,000, 40,000 for you. This is depends upon their respective criteria of the accounts actually. If suppose in that they have a per day budget, they can waive off up to 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs, some dollars they have the limit actually in the AWS support environment. If you are fall into that category, they're going to waive off. Otherwise, they will block your account. All the time they will not going to be waive off 40,000, 50,000 like that. Only the 10,000 they will going to give at most that you guys are into lending. Only few categories, very rare cases, there are into they will going to pay off for the 10,000, 30,000, 40,000, because on the daily purpose they have a limit actually. If suppose let's say suppose there is no request for the free tier account pay off. Today there is no request at all. Still my budget is available. So okay, I will pay off for you. But all the time they will not going to pay off 40,000. Only $10,000 they're going to pay off. 10,000 rupees they're going to pay off INR. So probably it's $10,000 for us. Sorry, not $1,000. Somewhere around $500. Sorry, $300 like that. So probably that scenario they will waive off. Every time they will not going to waive off $500. Right? It depends where you have did. Suppose you did in the billing on the Mumbai, or you did it on Mumbai on Singapore, where the resource utilization is very less. They try to get that criteria, and they will waive off the amount. But ideally, when you guys are into free tier account, you're not storing any data. They will simply block the account actually. What you guys need to do, you need to recreate your account with your respective new Gmail ID. That's it, simple. At this moment, don't think about your billing perspective. So when you are into productions, as I said earlier, you need to use spot, on demand, reserved instances, and based upon your respective utilization, you need to choose the effective use of instances. All these things you guys need to perform here. So that's how it's going to be. You need to do, right? So this is all about RDS, guys. So now we'll entering into the concept of DynamoDB. So as I said earlier, the DynamoDB is completely an key and value pair. DynamoDB is completely an key and value pair here. So this is an Amazon proprietary, which is a NoSQL database actually. And this is going to be support vertical scaling or horizontal scaling. This NoSQL will support
Horizontal scaling.
right. Horizontal scaling, right? This is going to be support horizontal scaling. So mostly people are going to be used, depends upon their scenario. They will select the database names actually, whether it's going to be SQL or not on SQL. and the data is going to be stored in the form of P and value pair actually, right? So now here to explain you this one, I'm going to be taking simple example of Amazon customer database, right? Amazon customer database here. Now I'm going to take a simple example of Amazon customer database actually. So create a table. As you already know, this is going to be a key and value pairs. The data is there. There is a schema. Or the schema is not available here. NoSQL database is an schema oriented or schema less actually. NoSQL databases. Schema less or schema oriented?
Schema
Dynamo
oriented.
is schemaless.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamo is schemaless, whereas the SQL is concerned, it's schema based.
Schema oriented. Right? Dynamo is a NoSQL database is a schema less database actually. So whereas SQL is a schema oriented here. So now here the data is going to be stored in the form of key and value pairs here, and it supports the respective scaling mechanisms, horizontal scaling mechanism, right? Whereas the SQL is going to support the vertical scaling. SQL is going to support the vertical scaling here. So now here into the Amazon DB here, right? Here the partition key. People make all this one as a partition key or foreign key or the unique key. Let's say suppose in a class you have 100 students actually, and 2 students having the same surname and the same name as well. How you guys are going to be differentiate between these 2 students? My question is clear, right? In a class there are 100 students, whereas 2 students having the same surname along with the same name. How you guys are going to be differentiate with the
Using
students?
constraint. Apply the constraint.
So what kind of constraint is going to?
Like a roll numbers,
Each
right?
primary.
Yeah, like roll numbers or the respective student ID. Similarly, here I'm going to be express my category here as customer underscore ID. So now this customer underscore ID is a string or a number or it's a binary.
It's a number.
String or a number or a binary. It's a number. So now here, what is the meaning of sort, guys? What is the meaning of sort? What does it do basically?
It will order.
Sort means to reduce.
Right? It will order either it's an ascending order or the descending order. So now here I'm going to be get the category of customer category actually, whether these people are going to belong to enterprise or basic customers actually for me. So enterprise or the normal customer, whether it's a string or a number or binary. This is a string actually now. The customer category is a string actually now. So now the main thing here. So right. So now the main thing here. Don't go with the default settings. Go with the custom settings, and go with the DynamoDB standard method here. So now here DynamoDB standard will going to be offered frequently access of data, right? So if you are frequently accessing your respective DynamoDB data, which is going to be stored in the form of tables, you need to use this, right? Stored in the form of tables, you guys need to use this actually. So now here, what you guys need to do in here? If you are not using your DynamoDB more effectively, infrequently accessing storage, you can use it for infrequently accessing data. Depending upon your situation, if you are frequently accessing your respective data, use this DynamoDB standards. If you are infrequently accessing of the data, use this respect to DynamoDB standards. That depends. So now here on demand and provision here. This on demand, if you use the on demand, it will automatically scale your respect to infra actually. Because as I said earlier, not only SQL is an right horizontal scaling. You don't need to worry about your respect to scaling factors. Provision here, it is going to be, you need to decide the respect to scaling factors, right? You guys need to decide the respect to scaling factors. So now here, it is better to enable the auto scaling mechanism, right? In the mode of on demand for your respective DynamoDB. In the mode of on demand for your respective DynamoDB here. For your respective DynamoDB here. This is one main important. This is one main important thing here. For the provision here, you guys need to select. So before you are selecting this one, provision or on demand, you guys need to know about the two things. Right? You guys need to know about the two things. The first thing here is, right? The first thing here is WCU. And second thing is with RC. The first thing is with WCU and second thing is with RCU. So RCU is nothing but read capacity units. Interview question guys. RCU is nothing but read capacity units. Whereas WCU is nothing but write capacity units. WCU is nothing but write capacity units. Write capacity units here. Read capacity units as well as write capacity units. Let's say suppose 1 unit equal to 1 unit can store about, right, 1 RCU unit can store about or can read about 10 KB of data. If suppose I want to read 100 KB of data, how many RCU are required for me? 100 KB of data, how many RCU are required for me? 10 KB. 10 RCU is required for me. That's how it's going to be depend. This is a generic value. This is not predefined value. This is the example value I have here. Right? 10 RCU are going to be required for me. 10 RCU. Similarly, if suppose I have an 1 WCU equal to 20 KB. If suppose I want to write 100 KB of data. Suppose I want to write 100 KB of data. How many WCU is required for me? 5. 5 WCU is required for me. 5 WCU is required for me. 5 WCU is required for me. This is how it's going to be happen. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? 5 WCU is required. This is how, based upon your respective usage, you guys manually going to be increase the RCU and WCU here. Read capacity unit and write capacity units. But when you are into enable the auto scaling, it will scale based upon the units. It will scale from 1 unit to 100 units, and it will scale from 1 unit to maximum of 100 units here. Whenever it's going to be reached to the 70%. This is how the logic is going to be helpful for your respective DynamoDB. But whereas this feature is not available in the RDS. The scaling is available in the RDS here. You guys manually shut down it and you guys manually perform the operations here, isn't it? You need to do the failover mechanism and you guys need to, right? You guys need to do the respective scale up and scale down based upon your respective utilization of your RDS. So this is what you guys are going to do, right? So now here, so now here, so now here you need to understand about the indexing actually. Guys, what is the purpose of index actually in your textbook or in your book actually? What is the purpose of index? What does it do?
For particular topic or scenario, segregating.
It will showcase the respective info, the chapter wise, and it will showcase the respective page number of the chapter. If suppose I don't have index in my book, what is my, what is, how can I going to be jump into the chapter 10? What does I need to do? Suppose I don't have the index. If suppose I don't have the index in my textbook, what I if I want to jump into the chapter number 10, what I need to do? I need to search each and every page, right? If suppose the pages have the each and every page, right? Suppose you have a pages of 100 pages actually, right? You have pages of the 100 pages actually. Suppose the chapter number is at 70 page. To jump into the chapter number 10, if suppose I don't have the indexing, I need to directly search each and every page, right? I need to directly search each and every page, right? To avoid those things, you guys are going to be create a indexing actually, right? Here I would like to use the index name as my location here, location of the customer. Location of the customer is a string. Create the index, right? Location of customer is a string. Create the index here. So now here, what I need to do here, I need to perform the right here. I need to perform the encryption of the mechanism. This I will discuss in the KMS section actually. This I will discuss in the KMS section. What is the encryption here? What does it do? Right? Yes, account to location is the indexing is going to be created. That's what it do here. However, these kind of things will going to provide by your respective application as well as database developer, administrator. What you guys need to do. So now here you guys are going to be creating the index here. One more index also you can create that, right? Create a table here. So now here, as soon as you guys are going to be creating the respective table, you can also perform your own operations here. But ideally, these operations are going to be performed by your respective application here. So we'll wait for till this is going to be created. So wait for it. So any questions in the meanwhile till it got created? So now this is in active state here. So now here, this data here is going to be performed in your respective, right? I can also create one more indexer. This is for my monitoring here. This is for my global tables for your respective replicas between the create a replica from AWS one region to other region here. Multi-region availability. And you can also enable the backups. So this is your respective data you can export to your respective S3 bucket. So we'll discuss what is the S3, how you guys are going to be useful for the respective S3 here. So now here, this Amazon DB is going to be connected to, right? This Amazon DB is going to be directly connected to the, with the help of IAM roles actually, right? With the help of IAM roles or access key and secret key based upon the, right? Access key and secret key based upon the respective usage mechanism here, right? Based upon the respective usage mechanism here. So now here, the data is going to be, you can create an item here, actions create an item. So let's say suppose the customer ID is, right, the customer ID is 123 and the category is enterprise customer here, enterprise customer. So basically this input is going to be provided by the, right, basically this input is going to be provided by the respective, right, this input is going to provide by respect to your API. Whenever the API is going to be need to insert your respective customer data, right, like the customer date ID and the customer category, whether it's an enterprise customer or the premium customer or the normal basic customer, all these inputs are going to be, right, all these inputs are going to be showcased by your respective API. So now the authentication process I'm going to be discussed through, right, the authentication process I'm going to discuss through IAM here. Am I clear on this? So this is what you guys going to do based upon your respective input of your respective application developer as well as database administrator. So they will ask you to create the partition key. They will ask you to create the respective, right, they will ask you to create the respective indexings. They will ask you to create the items, right? This is what they're going to be performing the activities, right? So this is all about your database, guys. So both the SQL as well as not only SQLs. And coming to the backup mechanisms for your respective database, there is a separate concept called AWS backup section that will discuss post our storage mechanisms of AWS, right? Post storage mechanisms of AWS here. So now here, you guys are entering into the very important concept here, and in your day-to-day activities, you guys are definitely work on towards these activities called storage mechanisms of AWS. The storage mechanisms of AWS is completely divided into three types actually. One is with storage mechanisms of AWS here is completely going to be divided into three types here. The first one is with block level storage. And second one is with object level storage. Object level storage. And third one is with the file level storage here, the file system level storage. These are the things storage mechanism has been derived here. One is block level storage, second one is object level storage, and third one is with the file level storage here. Three things which are going to be there. So now here coming to the block level storage, you have and one more thing, the main important service called EBS, elastic block level storage here. And the second with object level storage, you have an S3 buckets. And third one is you have an EFS actual elastic file system. Right, EFS actually elastic file system. So these are the things that you guys need to, right? These are the things that you guys need to understand. One is with block level storage, and second one is object level storage, and third one is with the file level storage, which is nothing but the EFS. These are the three mechanisms which are going to. Now here, firstly, we're going to be discuss about the EBS actually elastic block level storage. So here, you guys going to be right here. You guys are going to be understand about the how many types of storage are there again in the EBS. You have a general purpose here, which is a general purpose storage. General purpose storage. Right, which has been categorized into two versions. One is version 1 and second one is version 2. Two versions actually. One is version 1 and version, sorry, GP general purpose storage are there. In this you have a general purpose version 2 and 3 actually. Right, GP2 and GP3. And then you have an EFS actually. And then you have a respective provision IBOX actually. Respective provision IBOX. This is much higher performance, much throughput, and very high in cost actually. We call this one as a provision IBOX. High cost, high throughput, and high performance here. High cost, high throughput, and high performance here. It will support up to 32,000. It will support up to 32,000 here. 32,000 IBOX is going to be support. And this is going to be support up to 3,000 IBOX. So now what is IBOX here? What is IBOX here? The second category is with the provision IBOX. It is going to be support up to 32,000 IBOX here. Now what is IBOX here? IBOX stands for input output operations per second. IBOX stands for input output operations per second. Input output operations per second. Input output operations per second here. IBOX stands for input output operations per second here. So your read write performance of your respective data, your read write performance of your respective data should be depends on your respective IBOX. If your IBOX is high, right? If your IBOX is high, then you can perform the high read rate operations. If your IOPS is low, you can the storage having the latencies actually. The storage having the latencies actually. That's how it's going to be depends here. If you are performing the high, if you require a high throughput, right? If you are required on high throughput, right? If you are required on high throughput, you need to go with the high IOPS actually. That is called provision IOPS. It will going to be support up to 32,000 IOPS here. And whereas general purpose storage, it will support up to only 3,000 IOPS here. General support, it will only support up to 3,000 IOPS. And the main thing here is, and the main thing that you guys need to understand here is, right? This is the general purpose storage is going to be support only for the moderate application, which does not require high throughput. A moderate application here. Moderate application is going to be support here. The general purpose storage. Whereas provision IOPS is going to be supports high workloads actually. Whereas provision IOPS is going to be supports high workloads actually. Provision IOPS is going to support high workloads here. That's how it's going to be. So based upon the requirement, right? Based upon the requirement here, you guys need to select the specific, right? You guys need to select the specific storage environment, right? You guys need to select the specific storage environment here. One is with, right? One is with general purpose storage, it will support up to 3,000, whereas provision IOPS is going to be support up to 32,000 IOPS. 32,000 IOPS. Am I clear on this? This is an interview question. Based upon your workloads, you need to select the either with your respect to general purpose storage or your respect to provision IOPS. So now here you guys are up to, based upon the need, it will have up to 3,000 to 32,000 actually, right? Based upon the need actually, 3,000 to 32,000 here. So that's how it's going to be. You guys need to work towards this one. So now here you have one more storage environment called magnetic storage actually. Guys, you guys remember in the year of 1998 or 2000, there is a floppy disk actually. Floppy disk actually. Yes. So that is called magnetic storage. That is called magnetic storage here. Right? That is called magnetic storage here. Right? This is called magnetic storage. Magnetic storage here. Right? This is going to be helpful only for this respective floppy disk here. Right? This is not going to be recommendable for the production grade environment because this does not, if you are not using at all, if your guys are not using at all your respective application, if you guys not like infrequently, very infrequently accessing of your respective data, you guys are going to go for the magnetic disk here. So in generally, you guys are going with either with general purpose storage, which is a GP3, which is the latest version, and or the provision IOPS, which is going to be supports high workloads of the application. High workload of the application here. That's how it's going to happen. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? Am I clear, guys? So this is how you guys need to decide your respective elastic block. Now coming to the point here, so these EBS volume you guys are going to be attached to your respective EC2 instances. Here you have an EC2 instances, here you have an EBS actually. Here you have an EBS, elastic block storage actually. So you can attach either primary hard disk or you can attach the secondary hard disk here. Right? You can attach one or more hard disks based upon your need. Generally, one or two is sufficient. One is with the primary hard disk and second one is with the secondary hard disk. Right? This is how it's going to be happen. Right? This is how it's going to be happen here. One is with the primary hard disk and second one is with the secondary hard disk. Both the things are going to be supported by your respective EVS volume. Both the things are going to be supported by your respective EVS volume. So now here you guys need to understand about how can I take the snapshot of the specific EVS volume and what is the limitations here in the respective snapshots, and how to create the EVS, secondary EVS volume and the primary EVS volume, how to extend the primary as well as secondary EVS volume that we have. Right? There are few tasks here. That you guys need to understand here. The first thing here is with, give me a second guys. So the first thing here is where you guys need to understand about the EBS task on your day-to-day environment here. Right. Extend the root volume. Extend the root volume. Right. Attach the secondary volume for a specific instances. Right. And third thing, create a snapshot and restore the snapshot. Create a snapshot and restore the snapshot here. Right, restore the snapshot here. These are the things that you guys are going to be performed. Create a snapshot here and then restore the snapshot here. These are the things you guys are going to be performed here. Extend the root volume, attach the secondary volume for a specific instances, create a snapshot and then restore a snapshot here. That's how it's going to be happen here. Right, these are the three things. These are the three daily tasks that you guys are going to be discussing you guys are going to be perform in your respective real-time environment. So now here we'll stop it here. We'll continue by tomorrow. So let's assignment 2 up to the CloudWatch. Assignment 3, you have increased this one, step level scaling here. Okay. So assignment number 4. So create a RDS with MySQL engine as a database. MySQL engine as a database. Create a DB here with table, which has been discussed in the class actually. Take a snapshot, take a DB snapshot and restore the snapshot here and restore the snapshot here. Take a snapshot and restore the snapshot here. Create a writer node and the reader node here for a database. By using the failover mechanism here, increase the node size of the writer DB. create a DynamoDB table. Create a DynamoDB with DynamoDB table with indexing as discussed in the class. So this is how the assignment number 4, and we'll enter into the storage mechanisms of AWS here. Right, guys? Only the Pramod is very active in the class. He is submitting the assignments as well.
Any kind of visualization tool available for to visualize this DB and all, like RDS?
RDS, there is one thing called MySQL itself, which has been supporting this code. MySQL database client will support for the Windows. Actually, you will get the visualization.
So we need to pass the like endpoint IP, endpoint
Yeah,
IO.
endpoint, host IP address, sorry, host endpoint, and username and the password.
Okay.
So that is not recommendable. Database you cannot share between the two accounts. You can take the dump actually, and you can share the dump of the MySQL by using the MySQL dump or PG dump. If it is in Postgres, you can use the PG dump. If it is on MySQL, you can use the MySQL dump. That too, it is recommendable to store the data only, database schema only, not along with the data. There are chances to compromise the database only by using the MySQL dump. Yes, you can also state the snapshots here. What about rest of you guys? What happened to you guys actually? Very busy, huh? Very busy and hectic schedule. Huh? Have you tested this? This is what I'm trying to say, Pramod. This is called your second warm-up period actually. Have you tested after some time? You are directly putting 10 to 15 things actually. 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes you are continuously hitting by stress command. Have you tested this is working actually in the step level scaling? But here you have given the add 2 capacity when it is increased to 70%, add 5 when it is increased to 85%. This is what you need to do. At the end of the story, if you are adding 2 and 2, doesn't make sense for me. Because obviously when it is more greater than 70%, the time period of 5 minutes, it will add some instances for me. I can directly go with the normal scaling, right?
Yes, yes.
You got my point. When it is 70%, add 2 instances. When it is more than 85%, add 5 instances. As I said, that because your respective backend services is not that, sorry, your EC2 instances creation itself is not that aggressive actually.
But
Right?
actually, I stressed the instances and created the 2 instances. That actually worked. Actually.
It will work actually. It will work. Obviously, it will work because there is no person disrespectful approach. But what I am trying to say here is when it is increased to more than 70%, add 2 instances. When it is increased to more than 85%, add 5 instances. So that you will get to know what is the main difference between the step level scaling and the normal target scaling here.
Okay, I will try again.
Just here change it to add 2 instances instead of change it to 5 and try to check.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so that's how we're going to happen next. Yeah, thanks, Pramod. So that's all, guys, from our today actually. So we'll meet by tomorrow sharp at 8, right? So try to attend the class by 7:55 actually, so that if there is any kind of technical issues, right, you can directly work towards that. Any questions? Any questions left? Okay, guys. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Now, big Noah, Pramod. Right.
Still practice is needed.
Fine, fine. Bye.